Julia Jacklin live from Maida Vale to Perth before the border closes. So, Julia, we've already discussed the title of the album. So, as regards recording it, I believe you were, by your own admission, actually a bit underprepared.
Yeah, I was.
You can't tell if that's any kind of, but to bolster you a little bit, you can't tell you're underprepared listening to it.
Yeah, I think I pulled it off. It was just stressful for me and everyone involved.
Okay, so, I mean, you book a studio and there are different ways to run at it. And, I mean, if you look at the bands who are like multi-millionaires, they might book, a studio in Montserrat for 6 months and then come out with an album if you're lucky. And we know these bands, but most bands work to a budget and work under the pressures and constraints of that budget. So to just have a studio booked and not be, and not have everything kind of nailed at that point in time is a very brave thing to do. Were you nervous? Did it creep up on you, or were you kind of prepared for that stress, if you like?
Well, I think I did that for my 2 previous records, where I'd booked the studio time ahead before I'd finished the writing. But and it worked out, and it wasn't that stressful. But I think the last 2 years, it just slowed my brain down. It slowed me down, and so you have to book quite ahead of time as well because everyone's busy, and you got to lock people in. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'm also, in saying that, I'm always expecting myself to become kind of a different person. I'm always like, Julia, when are you going to become one of those people that's really prepared and writes really methodically, and I think over the since releasing this record and touring with it, I think I've just come to accept that I'm just a bit of a mess I can work hard, and I think when I'm under pressure I work quite well, and that's just who I am.
But the level of expectation for this album has obviously been ramped up from the first 2, particularly the first one, so I just think it was a very brave thing to do. But your producer was slightly nervous as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, Marcus. Well, he's used to working with, I don't know, bands like Arcade Fire and stuff, who just, I don't know, that they have to be super prepared. Yeah, and the weather station is a lot more, the music's maybe a little more involved because there's a lot more instruments or something.
Yeah.
But he was fine.
Yeah, sure.
Once he got to know me.
And also, I mean, you, like everybody pretty much, had been through the period of lockdown, and there was a lot of time there to sit down and write. So why did you not use that time to kind of write songs and get an arsenal of tunes behind you?
Because, I was just filled with existential dread for a year and a half, I was not really in the mood for writing songs. I don't know, it felt like, what do you write songs about during a pandemic? It just felt too big to then focus on little human things, and it just took me a while to care about my own thoughts again. And yeah, and also I was super burnt out from Crushing because I toured that so much, and I got home and I kind of was I never want to pick up a guitar ever again. And I needed a good 6 months to get over that feeling, I think.
That's fair. I mean, it was a massive success, and also you've got obviously evil record companies behind you pushing you all the time. It's terrible. But I did read a great quote from you saying you're calling it a tornado of chaos, which beyond anything else will be a great name for a heavy metal band. I was just wondering if you wanted to form one with me.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Would it be online?
No.
We live so far away from each other.
Well, you'll have to move over here. I can't go all the way over there. I'm too old. But, and I'm playing bass. Right, that's that sorted. So I also read that you said, I really don't want to listen to anything in my genre. So what would you class as your genre? Who would you class as your peers at the moment?
Oh, sad singer-songwriters. Anyone. I mean, not sad, just singer-songwriter music. I guess I was just sick of hearing small thoughts. I just wanted to listen to, Kylie Minogue.
A tornado of chaos probably is what you really need in your life. But I mean, it's been discussed on this programme before with myself and the listeners. There are so many great female singer-songwriters. You've got Margaret Glaspie, you've got Lucy Dacus, you've got Wiseblood. There's so much talent out there at the moment. Just one more thing I want to just run past you. So you went to a religious school. Mm-hmm. But you weren't religious. Mm-hmm. Neither were your parents, who were teachers at that school.
My mum.
Your mum was
Yes.
a teacher, right? Okay, that's a pretty complicated setup, isn't it?
Yeah, it was weird.
Okay, because I went to a Catholic school, and
Were you a good little Catholic?
no.
Oh.
And I'm severely lapsed now, obviously, and it's Halloween. I feel just so at home, But I remember that we used to go into school on a Monday morning, and if you couldn't remember the sermon from Mass the day before, which invariably I couldn't, you used to get the strap,
Oh.
and it's just the weirdest thing to think of in this day and age. And
That's
also.
crazy.
Again, I said I'll let you go shortly. You enjoyed working in Montreal, I know that, mainly because you got to go to Celine Dion's deli. Does she work behind the counter?
Yes,
Does she?
she's cutting the meat.
I knew
She's
it.
making the sandwiches.
Yeah, I knew she'd be like that. Okay, listen, we'll stop messing about now, and I will let you get to a truly wonderful song from the album, which is Lydia Wears a Cross. That's what you're going to do for us now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant. Okay,
We
Julia
never-
Jack.